Now, the Young Communist League of South Africa will be celebrating 10 years since its relaunch in 2003. A celebratory rally will be held in Sarpville. The history of the Young Communist League dates back to 1921, although the organization observes the 25th of May 1922 as the official date of its official formation. History reveals that there is evidence of YCL activities in Johannesburg and Cape Town in 1921 already. But for more on the League's history, we're joined by the National Secretary of the Young Communist League, Buti Manamela. Good to have you. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning.
What happened to the League before it was relaunched in 2003?
Look, I mean, it was banned in 1950 under the Suppression of Communism Act together with the South African Communist Party. So the Communist Party re-established itself in 1953 underground, from Communist Party of South Africa to South African Communist Party. But the YCL was not re-established because most of the people who were involved in the re-establishment process, people like Joe Slovo, Ruth First, were then brought into the SABC structure. So it was way 50 years later in 2003 that the YCL was relaunched.
Yeah. And in terms of a change of direction when it comes to the organization's mandate, was there a major one after the relaunch?
Well, not necessarily, because you relaunching under a democratic South Africa. Therefore, you had to look into things beyond what Joe Slovo, Ruth First, and all of them were looking at. So moving more from an anti-apartheid type of an organization into an organization that is mainly focused on development. I mean, we've been involved into things like the ID campaigns, working with the Department of Home Affairs, provision of sanitary towels for young girls in rural and township schools, programs around youth unemployment, inequality, poverty, HIV/AIDS, working with the, Ngozi Johnson's Haven. So it's those type of programs which we've been looking at, which we think have significantly changed the lives of young. And we think more and more young youth organizations needs to be focusing on all of that. Yes, politics is important as a youth political movement, but in order to remain relevant, we will have to directly impact on the lives of young people.
Well, I mean, let's talk about what are you celebrating? Because, I mean, we're celebrating 10 years.
Look, we're celebrating 10 years. This celebration was supposed to be in December last year. And as we were busy going up and down doing the preparations, we lost Tata Nelson Mandela, and we had to inevitably, postpone into the new year. So it's the 10th anniversary of the relaunch. In May, we will be, celebrating the I think it will be the 94th or 95th anniversary of the actual establishment, which was in the early 1920s. So basically, that's what we're celebrating this Sunday, at Sarpville. I mean, if you would have asked me 10 years ago, where do I think the YCL would be, I wouldn't have imagined we would have more than 80,000, members, would have more than 2,100 branches of the Young Communist League in villages, in suburbs, in universities, and everywhere else. And I wouldn't have imagined that, because of our collective struggles with the Youth League and SASC and everybody else, we would be intervening in education and in a whole range of other challenges that affects, young people.
All right, Buti, thanks very much for chatting to us. So the reality is that it's happening this Sunday in Sarpville. Time?
We're starting at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right.